Oh, we are now live. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. This is a interesting day today. I don't necessarily do a lot of live shows on Friday, but I'm digging it. I think I'm gonna have to start doing live shows on Friday, guys. We have an incredible guest, a really cool guest, because I am now a fresh new admin on his YouTube, and it's only right that I get him on ours, Wade's Ventures, and showcase him to the world of the reselling community. So I got so many people in chat, guys. Really cool show tonight. We will be doing a haul video. I promise you at the end, for those of you who are asking, we'll be doing a haul video. And also, guys, I've got a special gift from a really cool Instagrammer that I'm going to showcase you guys that was sent to Ashley. Before we get started, let me say hello to some people. Just Pac-Man, he said he's listening. Guys, he is in thrift stores right now. Hopefully you crush it, buddy. Debbie, what is going on? Gina, what is going on? My longtime amazing supporter, friends, follower, all of the above. Tony, what's going on? What's going on, love? What is going on, Flats? What's going on, Gina, number 2? What's going on, Gina? World 2018, what's going on? Liquidation, Ohio, guys. My new best friend, he wears pink magenta shirts like nobody does. 2 videos back. Watch that interview, guys. Liquidation Pallets, Liquidation, Ohio. Really cool guy. All right, guys, so let's get into this. Tanya, Amy, what's going on? Wilson, what's going on? All right, guys, so let's get into this. First and foremost, you guys know that Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, those of you who have seen my shows, we try to showcase really cool, awesome resellers within our community. And tonight we've got a special one, really cool reseller, both on multiple platforms. So we're going to talk about that, get our haul video going. So without further ado, I will have him introduce himself, guys, right now.
Hey everybody, Wade, thanks for having me on your channel. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So my name is Shane, and I go by the Rise and Grind Picker on YouTube, and I source in just about every way possible, and so on multiple platforms, and am growing currently a second eBay account. So we'll see how that goes.
By the way, guys, you can see the background. It's like a reseller's room for sure. You've got the lighting kit in the back, tub. When you see tubs and a lighting kit, you know exactly what they do, right? Real quick here, Shane, I'm just going to get your YouTube link so I can give this to the crowd here, and then we'll get going. I forgot to get that. There we go. Got it. Okay, guys, so I'm going to put his YouTube channel in chat, guys. Please let me know what number of subscriber you are on his YouTube channel. I would love to shout you out. That's kind of what we do here. I'll put it in chat right now periodically throughout the show tonight. So, all right, Mr. Rise and Grind, I'm going to ask you, my first question for you, sir, is are you an early bird or are you a night owl?
So I'm kind of both. Most mornings, besides on Sunday, I'm up by about 6:30 to 7 a.m., and I usually stay up till about sometimes 2 or 3-ish.
Wow. So you're just a hustler then.
Yeah.
You're just a hustler. Well, I'm assuming since you've got so much work in the background there, you're full-time. Am I correct in saying that?
I am not. I am actually part-time, but I put in 40 or more hours a week on reselling.
Wow. Tony, 847. Thank you, Tony. Tanya, 846. Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing to his YouTube channel. So you are a part-time reseller.
Yep.
Putting in full-time. How do you do it? I was there two months ago. So
it's not easy. So I spent 8 years in corporate retail and also like mid-level retail management. And so now I work a Monday through Friday, no weekends. I kind of did that to kind of play into my reselling thing. But I put in about 40 hours. That's why I'm up late a lot. I source usually almost 50% of the days of the week. So it's pretty crazy. What I do is I will take all my pictures in bulk, and then I bin it, and then I list it in bulk, which is pretty crazy.
Well, we're going to have to dig into this because I know it's really tough putting in a full-time eBay. If you want to do it correctly and you want to do it at a larger scale, it is definitely a full-time job. So um, I'm going to dig in here, and I'm curious. Give me an idea, give us an idea, everybody that's watching an idea, what state you live in, because I really like to know what part of the country you're in and where you like thrifting. What type of thrift stores are around you?
So I live in Illinois, and I live about 2 hours south of Chicago. So I'm really central to just about everything. St. Louis and Chicago are both 2 hours from me. Indy is 2 hours from me. And just about every major city in Illinois is about an hour or less. So I go to a lot of Goodwills. I go to the bins a lot, and I try to regularly go to Indy. Shadeland Avenue is awesome. And then I just currently last week or week and a half ago, I was at the downtown St. Louis bins.
So first and foremost, okay, the reason I'm smiling now is because when I first started reselling, I had no idea what Goodwill bins were. And I'm trying to remember back in the moment that I actually found out about them, because I remember the first time I went to the Goodwill bins, I walked in and I walked out within 5 minutes. I was so intimidated. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So do you remember the first time you heard about the Goodwill bins and the first time you went to the Goodwill bins?
Yeah, it's the first time I went, I don't think I found anything. I spent like $7 because it is intimidating. But once you get into the groove, you kind of break out of your shell.
And what is your bins like? Basically, you need football gear, or is it like a nice bins? Because I know that there's a lot of different. Those of you who don't know, Goodwill is regional based, from what I understand. So it's different areas, different prices. So how does your bins work? Because we had to kind of sit next to each other, and then they'll do like 4 long bins, and then we can go in. How does yours work?
So in Indy, if you go to Indy, most of them, you can't touch the bins until they all in the whole row, which is about 5 to 7, come out and they're covered up, everything. And that's a nicer one. Like there's not really a lot of people that are like trying to push and shove you. But if you go to downtown St. Louis, that's where you have to put on the football gear. And as soon as they bring the first one out, you can dig in. And the row can be empty. And as they come out, you can dig into them. So I have kind of a tactic I use where I just kind of keep my cart over to the side, but I always have it with me because people will go through your cart down there at St. Louis.
I believe it, because that happens where we're at, and we've got like a really like Care Bear Goodwill bins.
Yeah.
And do you ever, the ones where you have to wait, do you ever see people poking their hands in there? You don't say anything, but you see it. Happens all the time.
Yeah. I had like the last time I was in downtown St. Louis, I had a cart, and it had like a bunch of like 4 or 5 golf clubs in it, and it had some clothing, all vintage clothing. And this lady kept looking at it, and then she kept looking back at me, and then she just kind of peered over, and I just grabbed the cart and pulled it with me, and she kind of jumped back. But usually they won't do anything if you like take action right away.
Oh yeah, I've only had one instance, I can tell you, and I was pretty heartbroken. The item in which got stolen from me out of my own cart was one of the smaller office style basketball hoops with it was like plastic but looked like glass, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was super cool, and then it got let's be honest, I could buy it for like $30, but
yeah,
it got stolen. And that's
crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Ashley and me both like basketball, and it got stolen. That's the only bad time at the bins I've ever had. But all right, so where else are you thrifting at? Give us the skinny. What other thrift stores do you go to? Do you go to garage sales, all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, so I go to garage sales a lot. So I'm about 20 minutes away from Champaign, Illinois, which is the Fighting Illini, University of Illinois. Mm-hmm. And I sell a ton of vintage Chief stuff. The Chief logo for their school they took it away, so I can find that stuff all day long. I'm about 30 minutes from Bloomington, Illinois, which is a pretty big city, and I go to a lot of Goodwills there. But in the summer, I don't do thrifts a lot in the summer. Once in a while, I hit garage sales up like crazy.
Now, so we had Thrifting for a Living on my channel, and he gave us a really good nugget about garage selling. He said what he'll do is he'll ask what the price is, they will then give the price at the garage sale, and then he'll pause. He won't respond back for a while, and then they'll tend to drop the price down because they're waiting for a response from him, right? Is there any tips that you have that help you when you garage sell? Like, a lot of people do different things. Some people will go and look up the item back in their car and then go back. Like, what kind of tips do you have for that?
So really what I do is I kind of gauge the person out when I walk up, and you can kind of tell a little bit about a person when you walk up about how they're going to be. So for the most part, like if they're, you know, a little lady that doesn't really care what price they get, usually they'll tend to mark it up. So I'll get a bunch of stuff like that I want. If I find like 10 things that I want, I'll group it all together, and then I'll go up to the table where they're at, and I'll be like, yeah, I see you got like $5 a piece on this, and it's kind of slow today. I'll just buy it all for like $2 a piece. And I've only been told no once.
But that's an awesome tip, because I like a lot of people, they don't group stuff up. And that's huge. So, all right. So tell me what, and I like calling you Rise and Grind for some reason. I think it's tell me how you found out when was the moment, the time, the day in which you found out that there was the option to resell online. Like,
so for me, I've been kind of doing it off and on since about 2004. And so what it was is I would buy a lot of storage lockers. I would go to storage locker auctions, and I would buy a lot of them. And then I was basically flipping all the stuff on Craigslist and stuff like that. So then I started dabbling in eBay about 2005. And my account right now is like a long-time seller account because I've had it so long. And I could never quite figure out how to make it work. And then about, I would say close to 3 years ago, I just dove in and I started actually taking pictures in my garage with a bed sheet and 3 lamps from my living room. And then I realized there was this whole YouTube community on reselling I never knew. And I started watching a lot of videos, and then it kind of just snowballed from there, you know.
Isn't it funny how, like, when you first start out finding, because everybody here in chat has probably seen a lot of resellers on YouTube and or Instagram, right? But I remember the first time that I like saw a YouTube video, and then that led into another one, and that led into another one, and then you finally found like this community. It was really weird, you know. It takes one video. So
exactly.
All right, so let's take a little bit back. I'm going to ask you about your personal life, and then we'll get into some more reselling stuff. I love to get to know you as the reseller. So, Fred, first of all, let's start off with brothers, sisters. Tell me a little bit about your family.
So I have 2 older sisters. They're like in their 40s. I'm 30. I'm the only person in my family to have a college degree. And so my dad's retired from the military. He was a drill sergeant in the military. And then my mom worked 2 full-time jobs when I was growing up as a kid. So we kind of grew up very not poor, but like pretty poor. But I just didn't know it because I was a kid.
Well, first of all, awesome that your dad served, right?
Yep.
That's really cool. My dad did too, and he passed away when I was really young. But
wow.
Yeah, but still really, really cool. And your mom, the fact that she worked 2 full-time jobs, you know, even back then was not uncommon, but kind of rare, right? Even when we're 30, right? So that's really awesome. Now, what do they think of you? I know that you have a job, but what do they think about your reselling journey?
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like when I first started doing it a few years ago, I would do it off and on, and they wouldn't really ask about it. But when I really dove in, you know, I would tell them like, oh, I just sold this for $300, and they just laughed like it was a joke. And so now they've kind of seen it. They've kind of seen it like spiral, and they know exactly like what it is. And a lot of that they got really serious about, because I actually went back. It was February of this year, and applied for a business license, got that. Now I have a reseller's license and a federal EIN number. So it's actually a legit sole proprietor business.
That's awesome. And can you go through like so a lot of people, you know, it's really easy to get your reselling license. And so a lot of people ask, first and foremost, do you need a reselling license? A lot of states you won't need it, but some states you do. And primarily if you wanted to buy like wholesale or maybe possibly bulk or something, and some places require you to have a reselling license. So how was the process for you? Was it pretty easy to get that?
Oh yeah, it was super easy. I actually found an accountant that one of my friends, he actually owns a business as well, a brick and mortar. I paid her a little bit of money. She applied for it. I had it all back within a week. And in Illinois, you really don't need a reseller's license, but I also started buying wholesale this February or this March. So I needed the reseller's license to actually purchase wholesale product.
Oh yeah, so off the wall question, but I'm looking at your background there. What is that you're taking pictures of, that black thing?
You mean the table back there?
Yeah.
So basically, it looks a little weird right now, but when it lights up, it turns completely bright white. And what it is you can buy them on eBay, and it's like a mesh that is coated in a it's kind of a resin kind of thing, but it's really floppy, and it actually blows out the background once you turn the lights on. And some of the pictures I take, some of the better ones, I mean, they're crazy good. And that's really what I like to do, is take really, really good photos. So like this one I have right here is just of some bubble mailers. I had a really crazy bulk purchase, and like that is the picture I took.
Oh wow.
And it just looks really clean.
Hey, you're talking to the guy that loves nice pure white backgrounds.
Yep.
So Stitch Witch, starting my YouTube channel soon, getting it ready to go. Guys, start YouTube channels up. Seriously, like, you meet so many amazing people when you start a YouTube channel up. Doors will open for you. It's really cool. Mr. Rise and Grind, tell me a little bit about your YouTube real quick. Do you have a channel on making pure white backgrounds, or excuse me, a video?
I have some video content on making your pictures better, but I haven't put any out on the backgrounds yet. I probably will soon. That's something I've been meaning to do, but I shoot all my photos with a Sony a6000 camera, and I was using my cell phone, but I kind of grew a little bit bigger than that. So I needed something, to kind of make it a little better.
Now we have Roaming Pickers. I'm sure you've heard of that name before, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I am on the Reseller Niche podcast with Mo and Russ here and there. So I'll kind of fill in on some shows and stuff, and we have a lot of fun over there.
Now I heard that Russ is starting a YouTube channel up by himself, right?
He did. Yeah, he did. And I think he has a few videos, but I mean, I'm really excited to see what he does, because he just has so much knowledge.
Yeah, I was on their podcast, and I was humbled to be on there. It was fun to be on with those guys. It's super easy to talk to those people. Really cool guys. Check out Roaming Pickers YouTube. What lighting kit do you use is a question we have from Tom.
All right, so I have two soft boxes that are, I believe, Linko, and they're just single bulb soft boxes, and I have 4 bulb soft boxes, and they are I forgot the name, but they're 4 bulbs. But really, when you look at lighting kits, the main thing that you want to look at is the light bulbs, because the light bulbs is where you get your pictures from, not the lighting kit. And all the light bulbs that come with the kits, throw them away. I just trashed mine. They're garbage. And what I've been using is, I think I might actually have one right here. They work pretty good, but I'm gonna actually go a little bit higher. These are just from Walmart, and they are the LED general purpose lights. But the thing is they have, I think it's a 5400K value. It's the Kelvin scale on light bulbs. So that is where you get your kind of your brightness from, and to make it all tied in to make it all look good.
Well, by the way, I was impressed by the pick that you showed me. It was pure white, and I've been working with that. Like, I bought a I'll have to show you guys. I bought like I have LED as well, which work really well. And then I bought like this cool, I forgot what it's called. It's like where it's like a lighting box, and then you put lights inside of it, and it lights up, illuminates the backgrounds.
Oh, those are really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was expensive, but it was really, really cool. All right. So, what does your extended friends and family think of you reselling? So you told me what your family thinks, but I'm curious, when you walk on the street and you meet somebody and have a drink over coffee and talk, and you tell them that you resell, what do they think? Do they get the glazed look?
Yeah. They kind of just laugh. I have some really good friends, and I'll have some eBay sales come through, like when we're hanging out or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
They really aren't interested.
No, and you can make real money doing this, selling in your pajamas at home.
Yeah.
It's incredible. All right. So you kind of told us a little bit about your personal life there, and your immediate family and what they think of you reselling. And I think it's really good. How do you balance, though? You kind of mentioned a little bit that you're working and you're doing this a lot of hours too, but how do you balance the two? Kind of, what is your structure there at your current work? Like, what hours do you work, and then kind of when do you fit in reselling?
So for the most part, I work an 8 to 5, but I have I guess, the discretion to also work from home. And so basically it's just doing scheduling and payroll and stuff like that. So for the most part, I kind of got out of retail because I want to resell a lot more. And I'll tell you the method to my madness for having a full-time job and doing this crazy stuff here in a minute. But I have every weekend off. So I source through the week, and I will list and draft through the week. And then I will just go all out listing on the weekends. And I try to balance it with my family a little bit. But so like for the most part, I'll spend all day Saturday with my family, and then I will list most of the night.
And so do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have a couple kids, and I have a wife, and she thinks it's absolutely insane and it's a circus. But
so let's talk about that for a second. So the wife now,
yeah.
See guys, this is why we have these shows. You guys think this is scripted? Mr. Rise and Grind, I'll use that because I think that's amazing. We literally chatted 2-3 minutes before we went live.
Yeah, that's all.
This stuff is not scripted, guys. This is not scripted interviews. So tell me about the wife. Now, first and foremost, does she help you resell at all?
The only thing that she does is she takes all my packages to the post office every day. And then she will go sourcing with me from time to time. She'll help me find some stuff once in a while, but I doubt if she'll do any more than that. So I actually hired a lister because of that. So I have a lister too. But
that's awesome that she sends in the packages for you. I mean, that's a big step right there. You guys know that you can schedule pickups, but I prefer dropping them off personally because the post office is like right around the corner from me. So, and then what about your kiddos? How old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
So 6 and 9, and so yeah, they're firecrackers. My 9-year-old, she's in softball, so we're constantly going to softball games and practice and stuff like that. So there's a lot of balancing in there, and I feel like you have to have good routines to do it.
Well, you must have been 9, you're 30, so you had them kind of young, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm wow, I'm just thinking of my age, 32, and Kate is not even 2 years yet. So wow, yeah, I had mine late, I guess. Right. So do they help you clean? Does the kiddos help you clean or anything like that? Like the toys, stuff like that?
No, they don't want really any part of it either. It's kind of like one of those things where, I mean, they're kind of happy doing their own thing. And, if like, they'll take, like, for the most part, like my wife, like when she takes the packages, she'll let them take them in the post office once in a while and stuff like that. But that's about really all, and I think, I have a long-term goal to eventually open up a brick and mortar. And I think that's when my wife will probably quit her job, and then she will actually pretty much just work there.
Yeah, I by the way, I think that's really, really cool that you can have a family business like that. And not only that, like if she quits her job and she works, for the brick and mortar there for you, you guys can be able to spend a lot more time together. Like it's funny that your kids spend most of the time, obviously, up until they're 18 and then they're gone. You don't see them as much. So that's really, really cool. What are you passionate about selling? Like if I can tell you, you can sell anything you want right now, what would you sell online?
So vintage clothing is kind of like my passion, and that's kind of where I started at eBay and hard goods, but vintage clothing is, I'm super knowledgeable about it, and that's probably like my favorite thing to sell.
Vintage, sorry, I got a crazy text. So vintage
No worries.
clothing, clothing. I sell a lot of vintage clothing. Are you talking like Nike or what kind of vintage clothing?
Talking about everything. So I sell, for starters, I try to find and sell a lot of vintage concert t-shirts. That's one thing I really love to sell. But I've sold like vintage canvas shoes. I just sold a pair, I think it was a year and a half ago, for $260. And they were vintage lacrosse Bart Starr edition canvas shoes, and they're super rare. So I actually made a contact out in California, and the guy that bought them from me was actually through Instagram, and he sent me a picture of a tote probably about that size in the background full of these shoes, and he said, if you find any more, let me know. I'll pay premium for them. Wow. So yeah,
that's incredible. It's like I get a lot of that too. Like I have with all my vintage Nike, I get a lot of that. People asking, hey, if you get the same like checkered tags or anything like that, like reach out to me. And it's. Do you sell anything on Instagram by chance? Like just through Instagram?
I sold one thing through Instagram, and really that's about all. If someone reaches out to me, like if I show a video or a picture, and I haven't really been super active on Instagram for a while, like I will post here and there, and I need to get a little bit better about that. But I've sold one thing, and I do sell quite a bit of stuff through my YouTube channel though. I'll do a haul video and people will want to buy it, and I'll just reach out to me and have them PayPal me or whatever. So
yeah, and you guys know that you can do that. So you can actually, Christina Thrifts is a really good example. You guys can reach out to her, but basically you can sell through Instagram and just do PayPal them an invoice, and then ship it, print on a shipping label just like that. So it's pretty easy, guys. So how many platforms are you selling on right now? Like I know you're on eBay. Tell me your platforms, and one of them I'm getting started on as well very soon. So
I have a premium store on eBay, and I set it up a second account that has no store, and I'm going to build it so my primary eBay account should be an anchor store by the fourth quarter. And that's kind of my goal. I'm pretty close to running out of listings. And so then I sell on Mercari, and I just started that a few weeks ago, but I did a lot of studying. The funny thing is I'm pretty knowledgeable about Mercari because I actually, when it first started, I used to source vintage clothing on there. And then I do a little bit on Amazon, and I do all merch fulfilled. It's all merchant fulfilled. And I was pretty heavy into it, and then I scaled back a lot. And now I'm kind of lunging back forward, doing a lot of like media and stuff like that on Amazon, merch fulfilled. I don't do FBA. For me, it's just the storage fees, and I just kind of, I may one day, but I don't know.
Can you explain what merchant fulfilled is for Amazon?
Yeah, so basically it's super easy. If you have a book, you just scan the barcode on the seller app, and then it'll take you to a bunch of listings, and you find the listing that matches yours. You list it up. It takes about 10 seconds. So it's not like eBay. Like you can list literally 20 items in like 15 minutes or less. And then when the item sells, you ship it out. And it's pretty much like eBay, but it's Amazon, but it's not really eBay.
Oh yeah. But is it pretty, I know that some people get timid making their own listings on Amazon. Is it pretty easy?
It's not really that bad, really. I mean, if you don't have an item with a barcode, that's like the tricky part. And then you got to find a barcode and you got to get it approved or whatnot. But if you have a new unboxed items and you just scan them, you can find a listing that matches yours and list it up in under probably a minute per item.
Yeah, it's not that bad, guys. And I'm always a big fan of, if you're going to be selling on eBay, you should probably sign up for Amazon. So if you go to a thrift store and you find something for Amazon, you can ship it in or sell it through Amazon and continue to source for eBay. So you're not doubling back. You can basically spend your energy at one location sourcing for two different platforms. So tell me a little bit about how has reselling changed your life for you and your family?
So reselling has changed our life a lot. So basically last year, about a year and a half ago, I was able to put a down payment on a house. So, and then we bought a house that's about 2,600 square feet. You know, and then I actually was able to pay my car off a year and a half early. And this is where this little thing I was going to mention about the full-time job comes in. So my goal is to pay off all my debt. And then I'm going to jump into full-time reselling with literally no debt, because I don't want to take out loans and rack up credit cards and stuff like that. And, you know, you hear a lot of stuff about the PayPal, you know, the PayPal loans and stuff like that. And I feel like if you take out loans to do business, eventually it's going to catch up, potentially. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's like, did I just hear that correctly? You want to go full-time soon?
Eventually, yeah. And so after all the debt's paid off, I intend on eventually quitting my job, going full-time. And then I kind of have another crazy idea about like another investment that I'm going to do. And I'm going to get into eventually buy some cheap land and build a bunch of storage units. And then I'm going to rent them out. And yeah, so that's kind of.
That's awesome. Anything with storage unit, you get my, because I'm all big on the storage unit stuff. So, all right. So again, we got a couple more questions. Then we're going to go into our haul video, guys. That's coming up very shortly. If you guys have questions, put it in chat. Stitch Witch. I did see that. Here's the thing about that. I'll touch on it lightly because I know that there's a lot going on in the community in regards to that. Your boy Wade, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for any reseller drama. I am a friend to everybody, and what I mean by that is for me, it's like, okay, I can't remember who it was, but there's this gentleman. He's really cool. He's Asian. He's an author. Gosh, I can't think of his name. That didn't narrow it down much at all. But he said that you can only make. And no, it's not 10K on the bay, although he's a smart guy. He said that you can only make so many good decisions per day. And I think it's true. Like your body mentally can only make so many good decisions per day before it kind of like mushes, right? And so that's why in the mornings I try to do my listing, and at night I package my items, because it doesn't take as a lot of brain power to package items as it does to like list and make sure that your items are correct and you put it online correct. Going off on a tangent here, but I guess my point is I just like Mr. Risengrind and myself, we just don't have time to worry about all that other stuff. And there's going to be a lot of that, guys. You got to expect it. But that being said, hopefully everything gets ironed out in regards to all that drama recently. So, but all right, let's get back into it. I know that you're going to be going full time. By the way, that is super awesome. Mr. Mo, you know, our podcast buddies, he went full time. I went full time. A lot of cool people went full time. Tell me a few. I know you're a YouTuber, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But tell me a few YouTube channels that you love watching, because I like to give our audience a chance to basically find these cool people online. Because I know when I first started watching YouTube, I found one person, which led to another, which led to another. So I like to so do you have 4 or 5 or more people that you love watching?
Yeah. So I started out, how I kind of got started watching YouTube videos is I found Ronnie Hart and I started watching all his videos, and then it kind of spiraled into watching, all the other YouTube's videos. But currently I got super hooked on this YouTuber. His name's eBay Kirk, and really smart guy, has a lot of awesome videos and a pretty good following, but he's just super down to earth. I mean, his videos are awesome.
eBay Kirk.
Yeah, eBay Kirk. And I don't know how many people know him. I think he has a fairly big following. I don't even know how many subs he has right offhand, but I think it's in the thousands. And he buys storage units and he has a warehouse. And so really, you know, I like watching YouTube. I mean, I don't watch much TV. So a lot of my time is watching YouTube when I have time.
And so, by the way, I've never heard of that name, Storage Units. I'm definitely going to look him up. I'm always looking for more people to come on the show here, guys. Remember, you don't have to have 1 million followers. You don't even have to have 1 follower on YouTube to be on my show. Just email me and we'll get you on here. But what's the most that you've got out of social media? Like for me, when I joined social media on Instagram and YouTube, I got a lot of cool stuff. Like everybody's always sending me coupons. I meet so many people, like I get so many awesome friends, and I feel like they're my family. I can reach out to them when I need stuff, or if they need stuff, I can support. Like since you joined social media, what have you received out of it?
So, you know, I have met so many people. I mean, I've had people email me and I've gotten really long conversations, and I have several people that just call me up that I've met through YouTube and Instagram just to chat. And there for a while, I was doing some eBay store reviews, and I met a lot of really good people there. So the community is just a really good place. The reseller community is just a really good place to meet people on. And honestly, like doing YouTube and a lot of social media, you know, I'm not rich off of social media by no means. I sell a few things here and there through my YouTube, but I'm rich in friends. Like I meet tons of people that kind of have the same talents or the same mindset that I do. And that's huge.
I want to ask you about that because I know that you're like a part of some shows. Like my first question is do you have a lot of Facebook groups that you would recommend, or maybe 1 or 2 Facebook groups that kind of help you?
Yeah, so I am in the Reseller Society, which a lot of people are. I think it's like up to 35,000. And so I don't really post a lot, but that's one group that you can literally take a picture of something and within 2 minutes have an exact idea of what the thing is or whatever item it is. And then I am in a couple of Tanya Thrifty Treasures Facebook groups. She runs a couple that are, I can't even remember the names of them right offhand, but they're really, really good. And then she has where there's a thrifty world, something like that. And I'm in that one. So I just kind of join quite a few of them. And then, you know, I post once in a while, but it's a really good place to get a lot of knowledge.
Well, I as of late, I haven't been part of too many Facebook groups, but I'm going to start joining more because I've been running across buying a lot of these storage unit stuff that I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And Tanya, isn't she such amazing? I'm glad that she's doing a lot better now. That little scare that she had, she was one of my guests on my channel. She is super cool and got a really cool. There's so many awesome people. Like the show that you do, who's all in that show?
The Reseller 6-pack, and it's Golden Finger Picker. He'll come on quite a few times. Ronnie Hart, it's Lonnie Garage Flips, and then we got Andy the Parrot Head Picker, and then Tanya, and then myself, and then Lauren Hot Chic Thrift, and then Jory Good Use Goods.
And I've seen, I don't know, I think I've seen the Reseller Killers on there too. They're one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're both on there as well, and they do a lot of dumpster diving and have a lot of knowledge. And Steve and Steph are amazing. They're great. They're great people.
Wouldn't you want to like? That's one of my secret obsessions is dumpster dive. Have you ever done it before?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time, but it wasn't to find product. It was to find boxes and bubble wrap. Pier One dumpsters are amazing for that, by the way.
Pier One, that's a little tip. I know in Oregon they're like really strict on dumpster diving. Like they'll cut off a few of your fingers, like really strict. What about what state you're in? Are they pretty? I know Chicago's like just dumpster dive. What about your state?
Illinois, and I live in Illinois, and there's certain cities. So really in Illinois, the cities can make up kind of like municipality laws and stuff like that. So a few of the cities, you can do it, but you can't have a no trespassing sign and it can't have a lock on it. And then some of them, you just can't flat out do it or you get fined. It's just like a $20 fine and you pay it and whatever. And then, so you really just kind of got to watch out for the cities, I guess. So if I want to go dumpster diving somewhere, I'll just say, and I'll call up like the town hall and I'll be like, hey, what's your rules on dumpster diving? And most of the time they're like, we really don't know. So that's where you got to get on Google and you got to try to find some of the laws for that city.
Got you. That's smart, actually. Like, look at the laws in that city. Those of you who don't know, I've been working on a video, and it's me in my ramen suit thrifting. And so I will have that out very shortly, and it's going to be amazing. But I wanted to dumpster dive in my ramen suit. I just don't know. I'm kind of scared in Oregon. Washington's a little less like crazy, but Oregon, and they're pretty strict.
Right.
So I don't know why. You would think that they, as long as you're respectful, it clears room in the dumpsters, less to the landfills. Like, overall, I don't see why there's such a big deal, but I don't know. It's intense. All right. So Mr. Rise and Grind, this is one of my very few last questions here. Give us some tips for the reselling community. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be eBay tips, and it could be any tips, shipping tips, mindset. Give us a few nuggets that you think has helped you support you through your reselling career.
So I'll be honest with you. A lot of resellers try to niche themselves out. And for me, it's about selling everything. And the more you learn about, the more money you can make, especially if you want to go full time. You can't just sell clothing, you could, but it's going to be a long road. If you sell everything, like I sell shoes, clothing, electronics, just about anything I can think of. But you also got to remember you can't give up. So once you get defeated and you're like, I'm not selling nothing, just keep listing, keep growing your knowledge, and just do not quit. You see a lot of resellers that quit, and that's just because they don't know how to figure it out. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like SEO and stuff like that, and you just have to dig in and learn about as much as possible.
Roaming Pickers just said, I had to mute my thing because I'm afraid I'm like sneeze or but Roaming Pickers, one word, why cities shut down dumpster diving liability? That makes sense. What if somebody gets in there and then the door's shut and they can't get out? That actually makes sense. Hickory, he encourages kindness. Wade has awesome fans. Honestly, guys, like, I love every single one of you. I think you guys are amazing. I love seeing new subscribers, but I also love seeing like people in chat that I've seen that's been with me since day one. Like, the cool thing here, Sean, is we got Gina. She did a live show with me, right? And then we have there's so many people in chat that like has actually been in your seats, right?
Right.
That's what's so cool is I can like invite these people that I see in chat and chat with me live and get to know them. It's cool. Flipping Daily was in here. I'm going to get the Swamp Picker in here. I think he would be a really cool guest.
Yeah, Glenn's a cool guy. Yeah.
We love you, Wade. I appreciate that, guys. Sorry, I'm getting over this cold, this plague, this flu. I love my little guy, but he does bring home some really interesting stuff. Can you imagine back in like the 16, 17, or let's just go earlier, 14, 15, 1600s? Like, what did they do?
Right.
No doctor, no hospital.
That's where they like stuck leeches on them and stuff like
that. I was watching Versailles, a really cool show, and they like, okay, I don't know why they did this. I actually need to Google this because I'm curious. But back in the day, they used to like cut you and bleed you. What was the?
I think it was. So if I remember, I had a Western civilization class back in college, and I think it was like the idea is that you have bad blood in your body, and you have to get rid of it to replace it with new blood.
Okay, but is that a thing that like? Do you think that helped? I don't know.
No, probably not. And I don't really advise you to do it because you might get more than just a cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting stuff back then, guys.
Yeah.
And a cool thing about Versailles was like, it's a really cool show, guys. You should check it out on Netflix. But for a while there, Louis had a doctor, and it was he had a doctor that was his doctor or whatever. But the daughter of the doctor was actually smarter than the doctor. So he actually secretly had the daughter prescribe him throughout part of his life. You know,
Oh
because
wow.
back then girls weren't supposed to be doctors; they would consider witches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is completely out of this world. Like some of the most amazing doctors are women, and even back then, I'm sure that there was, you know, I mean, think about it. They cared for their family. They knew, and so anyways, so it's just interesting to me, like how that is. I don't know. Is there any shows that you enjoy watching?
I do. I watch so I really like the Orange is the New Black. And I love Trailer Park Boys. I watch that a lot. And then I got super addicted to man, it's based out of Chicago. I can't remember the name now. I do that a lot, but it's there's a UK version and there's a US version, and I cannot remember the name, but the family was like the Gallaghers, and someone in the chat may know. I can't remember it. And then I will suggest this, and I kind of got this suggested by some other resellers, and it's an amazing documentary. It's called Blue Gold, and it's about blue jeans, and especially the history of Levi's blue jeans, and it's amazing.
A lot of blue jean manufacturers are from Detroit. Really good. All right. So let's get into this haul video, guys. You've been wanting this haul video. Let's get into the haul video real quick. I've got a small haul. I want to give recognition for somebody. Give me 1 second. So we have a package here, Rise and Grind. And this came from one of my lovely friends on Instagram. Her name is Brittany, guys. Now, Brittany does about $26,000 every 6 months on eBay, or excuse me, every 60 days on eBay.
Nice.
Yes, she is amazing, guys. She just got her own warehouse. This is a post I did, guys. So, Brittany, thank you so much. Those of you who don't know, sometimes I get little gifts from everybody. And 20, and these are healthy snacks. These are for Ashley because she's only 2 weeks off from having our second little guy. So, but Brittany, thank you so much. This is amazing, guys. Check her out on Instagram. She does really cool stuff. Has a warehouse, and she's crushing it. She's only gonna do big things. I just want to tell you, if you guys do send me stuff and you want me to open it on air, I would love to do that. My P.O Box is below. But that being said, I appreciate it, Brittany. Appreciate you, and I know you're going to do big things if you're watching. I know you're trying to put the kiddos to sleep. So, all right. So, without further ado, you probably don't have any food, but what items do you have that you have thrifted?
So I don't have any food, but this is one of the items, and I'm just gonna kind of show this. And Mo has already seen this. This is an NASL Adams soccer jacket, and it's like Sherpa inside, and it's a Stalin Dean, and this league went defunct in the 80s, and it has this awesome patch on it right here. The only comp I can find on a Stalin Dean jacket was a jacket not like this. It didn't have the Sherpa on the inside, and it was over 200. So I'm gonna list this up for like 500 best offer.
Wow.
And it came from the Goodwill bins too in St. Louis.
Wow, that's incredible. You get some good stuff.
For sure. Another thing I have is this is a bins find. It's a pair of Levi's vintage orange tabs. And why I picked these up is because they actually have some ripping down here and some holes that's not manufactured, and people really like those. And so this will probably be, I sold a black pair for like $30, so it might be a little bit more than that, give or take.
Can you show the you said it was orange tag? Can you show that for people?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you want to look for is Levi's orange tab, and it's right here on the back pocket, and it's an orange tab. There's orange tabs, and then there's big E's. If you find a pair of big E's, if you don't buy them, I would spend $100 to buy them, to be honest with you. There has been big E jeans before that has sold for $20,000, $30,000. Depending on the style and the stitching and stuff.
Wow. Can you imagine finding one of those? And then
right. It's crazy. And especially if you get into like the double wall stitching and stuff like that. If you watch the documentary Blue Gold, It'll teach you a lot about that. And they actually go into the mines and they dig out old Levi jeans and sell them. Like they'll clean them up and they'll like refurbish them, repurpose them. So it's pretty crazy.
Where do you find that show at? Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix and it's free, and you just go to it, and it's called Blue Gold, and it's an awesome documentary.
So how much does that orange label sell for? The particular one you have is like $30.
Yeah, I would say 30. It might be a little more. I sold a black pair for 30. So with the ripping, because it has like some holes in the knees, which a lot of people really think that's cool. It might be 40-ish, depending on the time of the year. And then I'll show this one real quick. This is a Harley Davidson jacket. It's leather, and this is a women's. And I sold one like this for $159. And so how I got this is I also run Craigslist ads, and people will contact me off the Craigslist ads to buy stuff. And I picked this up on a bulk deal, and I paid $180 for 55 pieces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, not to ask you another question here, but I'm curious. You are a wealth of knowledge, my man. So tell me about the Craigslist ads, because a lot of people they don't do that, right? So do you do like wanted, like I will buy Craigslist ads?
So yeah, so that's what I do, and I always use the same photo. So I actually have it saved in my phone. So I will use this photo right here that says we buy most items of value. I'll put it into an ad. And so what I'm trying to target, like if I'm trying to target like Harley Davidson or clothing in general, I'll put, in the title, we buy used your like unwanted items. And then I will go down and put, I will buy your unwanted items. I'll pay more than a pawn shop, and I'll make a list. And then I just submit it and publish it. And the most calls I've had in one day after publishing, like 10 hours after publishing it, it was like 30.
Wow. So do you now, again, this is controversial. Do you meet them somewhere? Do they come to the house, or how does that work?
Oh no, I'll meet them somewhere. I'll actually go to them. So like this guy right here, it was a little bit different with all the Harley clothing. I've dealt with him before. And then I've also met some people, like one guy I've dealt with for 3 years, and I've made tons of money off him. And when he needs money, he'll hit me up, and I'll go to his house, and I'll sort through his basement and buy a bunch of stuff. But most of the time I'll say, meet me at Walmart in Bloomington at this time, and I'll just go there. But I never really have them come to my house because there's some crazies out there.
Oh yeah. And it's really cool that you can build those relationships too, because some people they don't want to put it online. Like they just don't have the structure or the time. And so they sell it to you, and I'm sure that they know you resell online too, right?
Right. Yeah, and I'm straightforward with them. They know what I do. So, they'll come to me and be like, hey, I got this and this. I think it'll sell really good. And they're excited about it. What do you want to give me for it?
Yeah.
And I'll just tell them.
It's almost like having your own brick and mortar, but not paying for the brick and mortar.
Right. Exactly.
That's really cool. Well, first and foremost, you have told us in the last hour 3 things that I even learned. So that's the cool thing about having these guests on my channel, is I get to learn so much with you guys that are watching in chat. I'm working in the corporate world, and I was from the corporate world. Like you gotta know when you don't know something, and you gotta get somebody that does know something. So it's really cool. It's refreshing to get all these new people on my channel like you, and just pick their brain and learn right along with everybody that's in chat. Now, I know that you've got a YouTube channel. Can you give us like a snapshot of what your YouTube channel is going to be for the remainder of the year? Like when do you do videos? When do you go live? That sort of thing.
So I try to publish about 3 videos a week that's not live. And I've been trying to do like 1 live video every couple weeks is what I've been trying to do. I do a lot of videos of bulk buys. So my recent one was last weekend. I spent $26, and it's gonna net me over $4,000. And I bought hair care products and big repack boxes at a yard sale, like 300 pieces. So I do a lot of that, and also I'm kind of going into like storage units. I have like 1 storage unit video out there where I bought a storage unit for $23, and I showed people what was in it and what I was gonna flip. But I try to go live about every 2 weeks, and I usually try for like a Friday night or a Saturday night. But I was doing a lot of live videos, and I've just kind of minimized them a little bit because it takes a lot of time, and with not being full time and having a lot of time, I do it like one every 2 weeks, and it's usually like a Q&A on Mercari or an eBay Q&A, or it's just something that adds value.
And you did a really good Mercari video, a few days ago, right?
Yeah, a couple days ago, yeah.
And you guys know that I'm trying to get in that app. I would like to be on 3 apps. I think it's, Amazon, but primarily eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and then Amazon. So being full-time, I think it's important to have your money coming in different directions. So hair care products, did you get any funny looks?
Yeah, I got a few funny looks. And the funny thing was I bought them, and it was a Christian yard sale for a youth organization. So they were selling them all for like $1 or like $2 a box. And I said, I'll give you $1 a box and I'll buy everything. And they said, deal. And I gave them a little bit of extra money and, kind of told them to keep the change, but they couldn't use them because the bottles were like too risky or risque. Yeah. So, I had like the guy and girl, and they were kind of acting intimate, but it's a Revlon product, I believe, but it's called DFI. And I got like 300 pieces of hairspray and volumizer and defrizzer. So,
yes. And, I could only make this joke because both me and you have really short hair, but
right.
That's what, Hickory, now I get what you're saying. Now I understand. So if you're saying if he had luscious long hair, he wouldn't have got funny looks, please.
I wish I did have luscious long hair. I mean, I went bald at like 19, so.
Yeah, I just got that. Oh, man, I am slow, guys. That is slow. Well, I really like your YouTube channel, guys. I put his YouTube channel link in the description. Please subscribe to him, support him, and I want to make sure that we're painfully clear here. If you guys want to be on my show, please email me and just tell me, what days work for you. I do live shows Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Now, if I miss Mondays, Tuesdays, or a Wednesday, I'll do a Thursday or Friday, or even sometimes on the weekend. And then also, guys, if you guys have really cool friends or YouTubers that you want to see on the show, please let me know. But that being said, Mr. Rise and Grind, I appreciate you coming on here, man. You have really, really cool stuff. I really like you as a friend. I always see you on the 6-pack, and I would love to get eventually every single one of those people. I've got Tanya on here, got you on here. I need to get the reseller killers on here, and it would be cool to interview all you guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And yeah, Steve and Steph, they're amazing. Like they're funny, they're witty, and it's been a pleasure being on here. So I appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And your channel is awesome. It's growing, and I like the content. So
it's growing so quick, and it's I don't know exactly why it's growing because I'm not that interesting, but I have such amazing people that support me. They're always like, when I got the plague here a couple days ago, everybody's messaged me warm wishes and different things to help. And so it's been incredible. And so I just want to say, aside from everything, everybody that's in chat right now, everybody that's listening after this is live, I really appreciate you supporting me. And I'll be in Vegas, guys, going live with a lot of other YouTubers. And so if you guys want anybody to come on the show, please let me know. I would love to interview them. And I love these interviews because it uncovers both the reseller and how they resell, but them as a person. And I think it's so unique, and you get a really good chance to meet people. So I appreciate that. We always end on one note, and this note is words of inspiration. What kind of words of inspiration can you give? It doesn't need to be reselling related, but it could be life in general to everybody that's watching.
So for anybody that's going to listen to this later on or whatever, you can take this as you have to change your mind in order to succeed, and you have to change your mind and you have to think positive. If you don't, you're going to fail, and you can't surround yourself with people that want you to fail. You want to be the one that succeeds and then shows them what a winner is. And you just have to keep trying. And if eventually, like, it's just like YouTube or anything, and eBay is kind of like this. On YouTube, you can launch one video and it will change your life forever. eBay, you can build your business and it will change your life forever. It's just how you do it.
And I think that's huge, guys. Go crush it. You know, the year everybody thinks, you know, oh, I'll start fresh next year. I'll start fresh next month, next Monday. Crush it today. Do something cool. I appreciate you guys watching. I will try to do a show over the weekend, a surprise show. And that being said, I appreciate you coming on Rise and Grind. If you're watching this after the fact, please subscribe to him. It'll be in the comment section and or the description of this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you guys got some good nuggets. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. Have a great day, guys.